Hello everyone, this is Scott. You may know me as Merlin Mac in the wealthy affiliate world, and I am creating these trainings here to show you how easy it is to use Elementor and the features you have available to you in Elementor to build your website. My actual goal in this training is going to be to recreate my paid-for theme website that I'm currently using. And the main reason for this is because, although I love it and it's great, it was originally designed for a gym company, and I had to do a lot of customization just to get it to work for what I wanted. This is my wealthy affiliate promotion site. And, you know, bonus offers, membership, meet the community, yada, yada, yada. All these features were something I liked, but the theme really wasn't designed for what I wanted it to do. So I did a lot of tweaking, and just to give you an idea, if we go over to the dashboard here and go to Appearance and Customize, most of that, sadly, was through CSS. So if you look at my additional CSS here, boom, 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 boom. A lot of it's color, some of it's margins, things like that. But as you can see, by the time we get to the bottom of all the customizations I did, we have 311 lines. Take 100 of that out in my description because I tried to make sure I remembered what each code was for, so I put in a little description line for each one. But as you can see, it took a lot of customization to get it to look the way it does. I was pretty much happy with it until I did speed testing. When I did speed testing, I quickly discovered that this site is terrible. I mean, not horrible, but it's not great on mobile speeds, and that hurts my SEO. So my whole reason for doing this, besides giving you guys something to look at and see how things are done, is to make my site better as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate pretty much my entire homepage, my static homepage, using Elementor on my staging site. So this is what my staging site looks like right now. That's quite a far cry from what you see here. So this particular training today is going to focus on getting the proper plugins installed, setting up your static homepage, and today we're going to do the slider portion of this. So we're really going to just recreate this slider portion, and then my upcoming subsequent trainings will be, you know, the little icon bars here, this little section, this section, and so forth until we get through the entire thing. At the end, I'll then worry about doing my headers, pardon me, let's clear that, my headers and footers. But right now I'm going to do the central part of the site. So you're going to see basically from the slider down through the multi-day step-by-step email sign-up form. That is what my main trainings are going to be. And then the header and footer and nav bar, that'll all be done in additional trainings, but I'll let you in a little secret. I can't do those until I figure out how they're done. So that's why I'm not starting there, is because I haven't done them yet, so I can't tell you how to do them. So there's the secrets out of the bag. Hope you don't mind. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Unfortunately, my headphones seem to want to drop wireless connection all the time, and they don't have a wired option. So I don't want to be going through this and then suddenly go silent thinking that I'm still talking to you guys and you guys can't hear anything. So we're just on the microphone built into my computer. So that said, let's go ahead and get started. I've already pre-logged into everything, mainly because I didn't want to take the time to blur out my passwords or, you know, anything like that. So I've already logged into my site manager for both sites, scrolled past my passwords so you can't see them, and then I've also logged into my actual sites, so that just makes it easier on me. So we have site manager, backend, and then my site and the other site. So just so you know where I'm clicking on everything and why you know, if you want to get to this page, for example, you would go to websites and then site manager, and then you'd click on the detail button for the site in question, so on and so forth. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure you have your theme set up and your Elementor installed. So a couple things. I am using GeneratePress. Love GeneratePress. It's great. You can use the free version. It's awesome. I went ahead and got the premium version. I think it was $49. But I can use it on unlimited sites, and by going premium I get additional features that I will use here, so I do recommend it. But again, you don't have to. It's totally up to you. So one thing you want to do is you want to go to Appearance and Themes, make sure you have GeneratePress installed, and then if you do go premium, it's actually a plugin that adds all the premium features. So that is the GP Premium, right? So you would install that and you would activate it and tie it into your account. The next thing you want is Elementor. That's a plugin and that's free, no problem. Now I'm going to be using some Pro widgets in my design, so I have Elementor Pro. You don't have to get it, but if you want the widgets I'm using, you do eventually either have to get it, or there are many people that make extensions to Elementor that you can install. Some are free and some are paid for, so you might find something else out there that you like. Just to make it simple, I'm sticking with these two. I've got GeneratePress, GeneratePress Premium, I have Elementor, Elementor Pro. So once you have your setup done, it's going to be real simple. We're going to come in and we're going to create 2 pages. So let's go ahead and just go to Pages, Add New. One will be Home, and we'll just hit Publish. And then I'm going to click another one, and it's going to be called Blog. You can call it Posts, whatever you want, so on and so forth. But the reason for this is we're going to make it a static home page. So instead of having your blog roll as your home page, we're going to go to Settings, Reading. We're going to say I want a static page, and now I can just select Home, and you have to have a post page for your blog roll to go to, so I'm going to use the blog. Click Save. Now if we go back here and I hit refresh, it should be pretty much blank, right? It just says Home, right? And the whole reason for that is because I created a page but didn't put anything on it. So let's go ahead and go back to Pages, and let's look at all pages. Let's go to Home, and there's a couple things I want to do here, because when you saw that I refreshed this, I've got the title here. Don't really care about the title. You also can see that I've got a sidebar and that it's all contained. This is all empty, unusable space. I don't want that for my home page. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go here, and because I'm using the premium version of GeneratePress, I have some elements that I can disable. So I'm going to go ahead and disable the content title. And if I do that and click Update, if I refresh here, boom, that title part is gone, which is great. Next thing I want to get rid of are these sidebars. So in this case, I'm going to go to the container, and I want to say just the content, no sidebars. Let's go ahead and update that. And let's refresh. That's now gone. So there we go. Now here's one other thing, and you can still see I'm still contained, right? We've got this space here that I'm not really happy with. So let's go back and let me see here. Page Builder Container. I want full width. Update. Did I update? Let's just make sure that updated. Okay. Now if I refresh, boom. It's no longer contained. It doesn't exist. Well, right now it vanished. That's because there's no content. So right, there was nothing to show containment. So let's go back to my page, and now I want to edit it with Elementor. So I click on Edit with Elementor. The Elementor editor launches, and this is our layout, if you will. So first thing you're going to see here is I want to do the slider. That's the first thing I want to work on today, is this slider, right? So we're going to go and we are going to find, where is it? It's not Media Carousel, Post Slides, so right there. And we're going to drag slides over. Okay, not bad. Interesting enough, I still have space here, which I'm not going to like, right? So if I hit Publish, actually I don't know if I don't have any content, if anything will show up. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so this is a example of what it's going to look like. Well, I want it to be more like this. I want it to be full screen. I'm not liking that I have this padding here. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go, now be careful, you can click on sliders, you're editing the slider widget. But if you click on this, actually that's not working, but if I go up, see this container, this little tab here, it has like a container. I can click on this little button here, and now I'm going to the preferences for this entire container. And what I want is, I want to change it from boxed to full width. Okay, now this is a bug. but you see how this looks like another slide? It really doesn't happen that way. I don't know why it does that when you change it, but if I hit update now and we refresh my page, it's the full width, which is great. But I have another problem. I don't like this white border. This white border is annoying to me. So back in here we go. And believe it or not, it's a column gap. This container can actually be divided into multiple columns, and even if you only have one column, it still uses a column gap. So all we have to do is say no gap. And as you can see, that fills the entire thing. If I hit publish, or update rather, and we go to reload my site, I don't have that ugly white border anymore. It's full screen, awesome, love it, wonderful. Okay, if I go back to Elementor Home, there's only one other thing that I'm not loving yet, and that is my slider height. Take a look at this. It's much more narrow than what I have here. This takes up a bigger chunk of my page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on slider to make sure I'm editing my slider information. I'm also going to go ahead and X out number 2 and number 3, so I just have one slide, and I'll tell you why I'll do that in a minute. So now that I've gotten that, I want to change that to, let's say, 700 height. Okay, that's a little big. Maybe not 700. Let's go to 600. Okay, that's not bad. Let's update that and see how that looks on my site. Refresh. That takes up a bigger chunk. I'm liking that now. Keep in mind this staging just another WordPress site. In fact, let me go ahead and take care of that right now. Let's exit Elementor back to the dashboard. And let's go ahead and get rid of my header. I don't want the header on this page. So disable elements, turn off the header, update. Now if I refresh, that looks a little better, doesn't it? That looks a lot more in line with that. I mean, granted, we don't have my menus and my logo in yet, but we'll get that. But the slider is looking a little bit closer. Great. So let's go ahead and edit this back with Elementor. Wait for it to load. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to click on slide. I'm editing my one slide. So if I click here, my background, I'm going to go ahead and upload. I've already pre-done all my images, right? So break free was my first image. And go ahead and for your sites do this. This is a test site, so I normally wouldn't bother, but I'm going to go ahead and say break free, right? Break free. So I have my alt text and my title. I'm going to go ahead and insert my media. Great. Looks good. I'm liking it. I'm going to go ahead and do content now. And I'm literally just going to copy it. Let me go back to that slide. Welcome to Small Online Biz. Copy. Let's paste that right into my title and description, right? Great. Now, let's get rid of this extra stuff. Let's go ahead and copy my subtitle and content. So, my subtitle and content. Now, something I don't like here. See how my subtitle just looks like the rest of the content? I'm not liking that. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give it a heading. That's the nice thing about this is you can add tags right in here. So let's call it an H3. Oops, H3. Oops, sorry, backspace. H3 / H3, right? Okay, I'm not. It's not as big as I'd like it to be. Let's try an H2. Is that too big? So I'm between H2 and H3. But now I have my title, I have my subtitle, and I have my text, and it's all different. So here's the next problem. Notice at like the white collar where this stuff disappears, how hard it is. The text isn't that great. You can't see parts of it as easily as you should be able to, right? So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and, where was it? Go back to our background and do the Ken's burn effect, or I'm sorry, background overlay. And that immediately adds like a shadow to it, if you see that. how it made the background darker, that text is a lot easier to read now. A lot easier to read. And you can change it if you want. I'm going to give you an example. I don't know if I want to do this. So let me just copy this. Command copy. Okay. I can make it green. Ugly as can be. I can make it purple, right? But you can make it whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to the default because that works really well for me. So we've got that. Great. Awesome. Blend mode. There's a bunch of blend modes, and if you're into Photoshop and stuff, this makes more sense to you. It's how it deals with the overlay and how it blends in with the background image. I'm not going to deal with that. I like the normal. It works fine for me. So that's pretty good. Content, yada, yada, yada. Another thing I want to do is I want to change click here to learn more. Right? I want my button to say learn more. You can make your button whatever you want, but I like this to say learn more. Now, you have a couple options here. Basically, the whole reason I did this first was now, instead of having to change 3 slides, I can just duplicate it, right? So I've just duplicated. I now have 3 slides. They're all exactly the same. They have the same image. They have the same, but the shadow change has already been made. My button name has changed. So now I have consistency between slides, right? That makes sense? Now all I have to do is click on the second one, change my background picture. So I want to add another file, and that one's going to be affiliate marketing, right? AFFILITE, ATE rather. Come on, marketing, right? Copy, paste. Insert media. All right, great. Now my text is still the same. I'm not a big fan of that. So let's go to content, and I am going to change to the next slide. I'm just going to copy my description, and I am going to do my subheading. And then I'm going to do my actual content. All right, and just like that, my second slide is almost done, right? So my first slide's almost done. My second slide's almost done, and actually I messed up. I'm going to go ahead and kill my third slide because I messed up. I wanted to do some more customization that I should have done prior to this, if I remember correctly. What? No, I didn't mess up because I'm doing it globally, so we should be fine. Never mind, ignore that. So what is nice is you can actually do individual styling if you wanted, right? So you can change the text of a specific slide. I'm not a big fan of that. I like my slides to be consistent, so I'll get into that in a moment. So my second one is pretty much ready. My third one, okay, I need a different image again. So let's go ahead and upload a file. And that one's going to be grow. And insert media, and let's go copy my next slide. Generate income streams, or passive income streams. Elementor home, let's go to content, boom, 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 paste, get my subheading, build your financial future, copy, put that in my heading 2 area, and then my actual content by leveraging yada, 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 copy, and paste. All right, so there we have 3 slides, 3 different images. Text is easy to read, even on white backgrounds because of that shading I added. Not bad. Okay, now, like I said, there's a few things we still need to do. First thing is we want each one of these to link to a different page, right? So this is already one up Elementor has on my current theme. This slider is just a slider. It's just informational. There's nothing clickable, no buttons. It doesn't link anywhere. It doesn't do anything. That might be okay, but I actually want people to say, oh yeah, I'd love to learn about this, and when they click on that, go to a specific spot. Whereas if, hey, you know, this sounds interesting, great, go to another spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, and for the intents of this training, I'm just going to have it linked to my active site because I haven't created all these pages on this test site, right? So I'm going to have them linked to my various things. So let's go back and edit number 1, and let's look at content. And this, when they click your button, or in this case, anywhere on the slide, it will go to whatever link I put here. So I want to welcome break free, blah, blah, blah. So I'm probably going to say to how does this work? That's probably where I'm going to send this. So let me copy them to my how does this work, copy link address, paste it in here, boom. Now if they click anywhere on here, because it's set to whole slide, or I could set it to button only, so they have to click on the button, but why make it harder for your clients? Just make the whole slide clickable. Then they'll go to that link. So let me go to the second one, and let me link that one. What is this? Affiliate marketing. So let me go ahead and say, what is affiliate marketing? That's a good one to send them to. Copy link address, and you're gonna go here, right? And then let me go to the third one, which is passive income. My apologies for the text that keep popping up in here. Passive income, so I'm going to just say, I'm going to link that to wealthy affiliate, right? So what is wealthy affiliate? So copy link address and paste that in here. So now each slide goes to a different page on my site. Now, this looks okay, looks all right. I'm not in love with it per se, so let's go ahead and do a little bit more. Let's go to style. Specifically, I want to change the title, and I want to change it to, I love that orange. I don't know if you looked at my site, but I like this orange. I don't know why, I just like it. So I want my title to be that orange. I happen to know that it's F15D28 from all that CSS customization I did earlier. So now that changes it. And what I like about doing this is this changes it for the entire element. So all the slides now have the title in orange, right? Like I said, you could do it individually if you wanted to under the style. You could have individual styles, but it's even limited, right? Like I can just do content color. That's for all the content, not just the title. So I like the global style option better because it gives me title, description, button, and so forth, and it keeps it consistent between the slides. So there's that. But I also want to change the button. So the normal button, I'm going to make that one F15D28 for the text. I'm also going to make the background F15D28, right? And I don't know if you know me or not, but I like to show, what's the best word? Not an action, but confirmation of an intended action. Like when you mouse over something, I want that to change to let me know, hey, you can do something here. So I want to do some hover stuff as well. So what I'm going to do is change it to inverse. So it's going to go from orange to white. So I'm going to change the text to white on hover over. See that? Then I'm going to change the background to the orange, F15D28, right? But I'm going to go one step further and change that border to white as well. So now it's like a complete reversal. Hey, this is definitely an action that's going to happen if I click on this, right? I like that. So all I've done is now I've changed this text, I've changed my button, and it's consistent on all the slides in this element. So I'm liking that. All right. Nothing special in here. Oh, yes, we can do navigation. So you see the arrows here? We can put them inside or we can put them outside, but since I don't have an outside, you can't really see that because I went edge to edge. Then we can change the arrow colors again if we want to be F15D28. So now they're that orange, right? The dots are inside or they can be outside. Now see how they're below? Honestly, I'm not really big on the dots. In fact, when I go to do these boxes that you see here and I actually want them to go over the image, so it's kind of an apples to apples comparison of my current theme, it's going to hide the dots anyway. So it's up to you, but you can put them inside. You can turn them off actually. If you go to content, slider options, you can just do just the arrows, right? And just get rid of the dots altogether, which technically is what I would probably do since I'm going to do that overlap, but for all intents and purposes, we'll just go ahead and leave that for now. Let me go back to style, navigation. So you can also change the dot color, right? F15D28. So they're orange, and I like how they fade. See how they're responsive? I like that. So, and then you can even create this, you can make them bigger if you wanted, so they're more prominent. right? Does that look better? Probably. Gives you a better idea of what to expect. So now if I hit update, we just did the slider. So we've set up our basic page format, right? Got rid of the sidebar, got rid of some padding, made it full width, added our slider, and if I hit refresh now, this is the new site, right? So now we have this, and we have this, and we have this. And if I click on this one, this should take me to the Wealthy Affiliate on my small online biz page, which it does. Okay. So, and then the other ones, you know, if I went here, this should take me to, how does this work or something? Oh, the program. So my links are going to separate places. So already this is more functional. Like I said, if I go here, nothing I click on here does anything, right? It's just informational, doesn't even go anywhere. And if that's what you want, that's easy. You can just turn off the buttons and you can say don't go anywhere, right? So, I mean, if I really wanted to do that, content, I could just go here and I could remove my link. I'm just gonna, and then I could get rid of my button, and then it won't do anything. That is pretty much the function of that, right? So you got pros and cons. Personally, I want it the other way, so I am not gonna do that. I'm gonna go back and learn more and paste my link back in there because that's what I want it to do something, you know. Everything should have a purpose. And if information's the purpose without actually linking anything else, great. But, you know, I want something, if someone wants to learn more, I want them to be able to. So now you can see if I mouse over, works great, perfect, wonderful. My dots look okay. I could just jump to the slide 3 if I want, or I can use the arrows. So I'm happy with that. There was one other thing I was going to talk about, but it's evading me for the moment. Oh, that's what it was. So another nice thing about Elementor that my theme lacks is I can have each element have its own animation when it's first loading. So, I don't know, let's see, bounce in. That's kind of annoying, but let's see. So now when my page first loads, or when that element first loads, it will draw attention to itself, right? Now there's one thing I don't like is the white background, you know, I don't like that in the bounce, so I might change my page background to black just to fix that, but you can do a lot of things that way. Personally, I kind of like you can do slide in maybe, slide in down. That's not bad. Let's take a look at that. So let's reload. My slide is going to slide in. I kind of like that. One that I usually go to though is fade. I like fading in. So if or zooming in rather. Zoom in. Boom, right? Again, all that white background, but I can fix that in the theme by changing the page's color. So let's go ahead and refresh that. And it zooms in and then starts its spiel, right? So if I want to see something here. One thing I want to see. Does the slide auto scroll? It does. Okay. So as you can see, it just went to my first slide. Now it's going to my second slide. Now if I hold my mouse over it, see how it changed the pointer? So the whole slide is clickable, not just the button. But one thing that's more interesting, and that's what my current theme does, is if you mouse over, the sliding stops. It won't auto slide anymore. So I kind of like that feature because then if someone's reading something, let's say I have a lot of content in here, then the slide time might be too fast. But you can also adjust that in Elementor if you want. So this is where I'm going to end this particular part of the training. We've already done the first section, right? We've installed our theme, we've installed our plugins, we've set up our 2 static pages, one for the blog roll, one for our home. We've changed to a static home page, and we've started building the static home page starting with this slider. So the next one I'm going to do is going to include these icons here, and again, they're going to be more functional than the ones that I have currently. Yes, I can mouse over and it highlights, that's great, but again, not clickable, doesn't do anything, it's just informational. I just like the way it looked, and that's what got me with this theme in the first place. But now with Elementor, I can still do this, but make them actually have a purpose besides just showing information. So that's what the next one's going to be. If you liked this training, please click the like button. I would appreciate it. If I went over anything too quickly, or if I missed something that you would like gone over in more detail, or talked about at all because I didn't do it, please comment below and let me know. And hey, just comment below and let me know what you think in general, because I'd love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, I'm around. I try to pop on every day. Hopefully you found this useful, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.